Some of the things that I'm thinking of in charter revision are combining some of the offices and combining some of the boards and commissions and their duties. One is looking at the town and city clerk's office, which is part of the mayor's office at this point, combining those two, as most of the larger municipalities have, as one town and city clerk, and trying to condense that. There's a lot of, from my experience as the town clerk, there's a lot of records up in the city clerk's office that should be combined with the town clerk's office as far as retention goes, and I think that that's been overlooked over the years, and it's unfortunate there's just no budget, but if we were to combine the two, we might be able to make it more efficient to run that, and also save some money for the city as combining the two positions.
What would that encompass, a charter revision?
That would be a charter revision, yes.
Okay.
Because the town clerk is elected and the city clerk is appointed by the mayor and the council approval. So that's one agency. The other is in the management of the office. I'm looking at all of the department heads. As a department head in there at the time in the last election, I worked very closely with all of them. At this point, being on the outside, I would consider that all new department heads be brought in. I shouldn't say brought in, I should say that, that we would seek a resignation from all department heads and reapply for those jobs. Not to say that they're all going to go, but the city seems to be running stagnant in its management process, and maybe over a period of time it's time to change things around. As with any company, any division, there's times to look at things from a whole new perspective. Time to bring in new management. A lot at stake here as a taxpayer for the city of Norwalk, and it's time that a taxpayer takes over the seat and views it as a citizen of Norwalk. And the same problems that I have on a daily basis of keeping my home up or keeping my kids in school or driving on the roads in Norwalk or trying to shop here, do business here, are the same problems that I face that the community faces. And I believe that the knowledge that I have and the experience that I have in working in a municipal office in this city and being a resident of this city for the last 53 years, that I would like to run the office of the mayor and run the city. I believe that the experience of running, knowing the decisions to make and when to make them, and not relying so much on the people around me or the advisors around me, but to go with my gut and to go with what I feel is correct. Not that I was misguided in any direction, but being the first time out there, you listen to a lot of people, you take a lot of ideas, and you want to win, and you want to make things better for everybody, so you listen to everybody, and sometimes you get a little bit lost in that. But I feel a lot more confident again in wanting to make those decisions. Top three, economic development is one, education of our students, and the safety of our citizens. All of this kind of rolls in a circle around tax dollars and generating the tax dollars through economic development, and also looking into the school system and a new superintendent that's going to stand strong and stand to the convictions of running things differently. The answer that this is the way we've always done things in Norwalk just doesn't fly anymore. And that goes, again, from department to department, to the Board of Education, to even down to Parks and Recs, to how we bring cars into the beach even. Everything needs to be looked at. Economic development, all of the developments that are going on in Norwalk. We finally have West Avenue corridor starting to break ground and starting to build. We can see that on a daily basis. There are still issues with companies and corporations and developers wanting to come to Norwalk, and we need to make Norwalk a viable community for them to want to develop in. We need strong leadership in the office that's going to take control of seeking out developers that want to work with us and not making it difficult for the developers to work in Norwalk. Even just we look at Bridgewater, that was in our neighboring town in Westport, skips over Norwalk and goes right to Stamford. Now, what they were looking for in a complex, I'm not sure, but we have plenty of room here in Norwalk that we probably could have accommodated, but they didn't even discuss anything with Norwalk as far as I know. Part of our infrastructure, even underground, our streets, we have pipelines and gas lines and electric lines underground that are 100 to 80 years old, and we're slowly working our way through that. Now we need to work with the electric company or the gas company, the utilities, to upgrade this as soon as possible. I mean, we're taking one or two roads at a time. I understand that, but we need to look at the infrastructure of Norwalk and make it workable again. That a company coming in is not going to. We're charging the developers to reconstruct the 200 or 500 feet in front of their property, widening lanes or putting in the new pipes so that they know that they're going to be here for a while. If those things are in place, this is an attraction to get companies to come here, developers to come here. Some of the process of redevelopment and zoning are complicated in Norwalk as opposed to other cities and other towns. And I have talked with developers, and they say that it's a handful to get through some of these rigors of the process in Norwalk, where it is easier in other towns. It needs to be looked at as well. You know, they wanted to have parking on this, or several people mentioned that, you know, there should be free parking on the street. Well, the answer to that doesn't really come that simple. You'd have free parking, somebody'd be there all day, and you'd never have a turnover. It's dealing with the parking authority and trying to set better ground rules and getting people in that have the same vision again of wanting to move the city forward and not only earning their keep. I mean, the city has to bring in revenue somehow, but at the same time, you want to listen to the people that you serve and serve those people. You know, we're in the middle of a superintendent's search right now, and I believe finding the right superintendent for the school system is going to be a big issue. It's probably going to happen between now and the election. I'm not going to have much to say in that, I don't believe, but I think making sure that we have an administrator in that position that's going to stand strong, that's going to have the children's in their best interest, that this is a person that's going to bring the new ideas, invigorate them, and stand up to the unions if need be. Look at the administration in the top office and make sure that that's running efficiently. We're going to need to look into special education and see if we can make that run more efficiently. We have a great staff of teachers in the city, and they're some of the best teachers in the state, and we want to keep them, but we also have to realize that, again, as a taxpayer, we want to make sure that we're spending the money in the right place and we're not overspending, and we're not, as the cost of living is going up, we're not spending more and more of our tax dollars out of our own pockets. As the real estate market, see, everything's tying into the same tax dollars here, whether it's education, whether it's economic development. The housing costs are going down, but our taxes are being raised at the same time. There's got to be an equilibrium to want to stay here. We do have a crime problem. It's being tackled every day. We have fine men and women out there on the street trying to keep us safe. The new program where we have officers out on the street, I think, is a great idea. I've been calling for that for a long time. You know, if the public or certain neighborhoods feel that the guardian angels make them feel safe, and they can work with our law department, why not? If that is going to make people feel comfortable and want to stay here in Norwalk, those again are ideas that we can use. Foot patrols, wonderful. Getting police officers on the street, getting beat cops, having the neighbors, having the children grow up with the officer in the neighborhood, knowing who they are, who they can trust, they can go to. Those are the issues in Norwalk that we need. You know, there's a corridor. There are certain areas of town that we know are conducive to gunfire or to crime. We need to tackle that. We need to also look, again, outside of the city and other programs that are out there, whether it's funding from corporations or programs that we can do. We have to take the first step in inquiring about these programs and the funds that are out there. Even with the Board of Education, there are corporations that we could be partnering with for programs, science programs, for the companies that are in Connecticut or even in Fairfield County alone. That could be sponsoring science programs in our school and deferring some of the costs that we have. Mosques, though, they have a whole different parameter. Being a religious organization, they're entitled to rights that the federal government issues. And we need to, as a city, comply with that and not discriminate against them. But I think if we had gone to the table a lot earlier and not fought that, we probably could have had a better understanding for both sides and negotiated a deal or you know, when somebody gets backed up against the wall, they're going to stand strong and say, this is how we're going to have a 100-foot spire, and that's what we have by nature. And instead of negotiating and having you know, an open hand, a handshake, and saying, how can we work with you? As long as they're within zoning regulations and they comply, there's no reason that can't be there. Same with the driving range. You know, should we take over parklands? Not necessarily. There should be a way to reorganize, redesign a driving range for the city of Norwalk. We don't have one. It's a wonderful asset to have. We have a great waterfront. We have great parks. We have all kinds of things here, and we need to market that a little bit more as well. We have a harbor that sits here, and there's a publication that comes out several times a year about the different harbors around the Long Island Sound and where to go for day destinations or weekend destinations. And we need to be advertising in those publications. We need to sell this city to other communities, to other people. We need to infuse tax dollars from outside of Norwalk to come here and spend their money here, and that's less we have to spend. And we have a great reputation for that.